There we go, recording. So, hi guys, welcome back to the channel. My name's Rebecca, for those of you that don't know me. And on this channel I go for all things accounting, finance, Excel and investment related. So if you're a student or somebody looking to study bookkeeping and accounting, or if you've got bookkeeping accounting questions, then feel free to pop those in the comment section below. And otherwise, let's get into today's video. So what we're going to talk about today is what we call accrued income and deferred income. And this is something that, particularly when I was studying, I just could not get my head around. I think it's just because the two different types of income are very closely related and almost have the same name. And if you've dealt with accruals, it's sometimes understandable why you would get accruals cost mixed up with accruals income and the journaling for that. So let's just move this around. So some fine examples of when you would see accrued income and deferred income is with charities. So with a charity, so a not-for-profit organisation, they usually get grants. So they get grants from the likes of the government, or they might get income from voluntary donations, for example. Now, the government might say, right, we're going to give you this grant, so this £100,000, let's just say, for the next 3 years. Now, when it comes to the end of your financial reporting period, so your financial year, there's 12 months there. So if we look at that grant income for £100,000, that relates to 36 months, i.e. 12 months times by 3, or 3 years. So if we only want to account for a third of that, we're going to take the £100,000 divided by 36, and if we times that by 12 for the full year, that's going to give £33,333.33 per year that you need to account for in the income statement. So what we need to do, what we're going to see with these entries is, up here we're going to have debit bank, so debit bank for the £100,000 that we have received, and then we would credit income statement with the full £100,000 as grant income received. But because again we don't want to recognise all of that in that financial year, we only want to recognise the 12 months of that, what we want to do is be left with just the £33,333.33 in the income statement. So what do we need to do then? So if we want to defer that income, so defer the 2 years of the 3 years onto the balance sheet, because we can't recognise that in this particular period in the income statement, what we're going to do is debit the grant income received in the income statement. So we're going to take it out. So what's left then in the income statement is just that £33,333.33. Oh my word, why does it have to be this number? And then what we're going to do is credit deferred income on the balance sheet. So that's going to look like a negative figure on the balance sheet, sat under current liabilities and also non-current liabilities, because for those of you that don't know, and I got a hair in my mouth, for those of you that don't know, deferred income and other assets and liabilities on the balance sheet have to be split between less than 12 months and more than 12 months. So the amount due within 1 year would be, again, another £33,333.33. Why did I pick this number? That would be shown under current liabilities, and then under non-current liabilities, i.e. amounts due more than 1 year, so as in the 3rd year of that grant income would be sat under non-current liabilities. So, accrued income. So we might have a similar situation where you have money that is due to that charity, let's just say, and let's say for argument's sake that this time it's only £20,000. So what you might find is that in the financial year that you're reporting on, January through to September, you've received the income in that period from the government. But in October, November, December, you didn't receive any income, but you are due that income, and they have acknowledged that that income is due. So what's going to happen is you're going to accrue for that. So similar to how, with debtors, you've got items that customers owe, so invoices that customers owe to you but they've not yet paid, that's sat as a debtor on the balance sheet. Well, with accrued income, that's also going to be sat as a debtor on the balance sheet or statement of financial position, because it's money due to your company or your not-for-profit in this situation. So what we need to do is, because no money's been received in the bank, we're not touching the bank. what we need to do instead is we need to debit accrued income on the balance sheet and instead credit grant income, for instance, on the income statement. So that's going to then recognise that income in the right period, and then we've got that on the balance sheet. Now let's just say that in January you receive that money. We're going to reverse the accrued income. So what we'd have then is a debit in the bank of that £20,000, and we would have a credit to accrued income to get rid of that off the balance sheet. So that's really all we're doing with accrued income and deferred income. You defer it if you've received it in advance, and you accrue it if you've not yet received it. So I hope that helped. If you like the video, as always, give it a big thumbs up because it really does help the channel grow. Consider subscribing as always, and I shall catch you at the next one.